this dome will match up to the one in Ophir.
The one in Ophir? That was your Technomancer hideout, right? I was always curious, but I wasn't allowed near it. Due to confidential shit.
Yes, it used to be some sort of museum. It was a fascinating place.
Looks more like a pile of rocks to me. Let's hope this other one is in better shape. Otherwise, that doohickey thingamajig you're looking for will be really hard to find.
If the dome is really off the grid, then it could still be in good condition. But we should be ready for anything. The scavengers could have beat us to the punch and scrapped and sold it. How big is it? Should we be able to spot it from afar?
I wouldn't bet on it. If I understood correctly, there'll be some small housing domes. But what we're interested in is the archives of these ancient inhabitants.
Heritage. What a funny little... The offspring of those who built the dome probably reside in our cities. Or perhaps even one of us is a great-great-great... And yet here we are, chasing after old ruins so we can rummage for answers on our ancestors. How remarkably absurd, isn't it?
We have the turmoil to thank for that.
I find humans' curiosity towards the domes curious. Why do you pursue them and other artifacts with such zealotry?
I don't want to be mean, Phobos, but as a mutant, you've become something else. Isn't it hard to keep revering something that brings back memories of those who used and exploited you?
Yes, but no matter what happens, Earth is a forbidden fruit, and for that, we choose to forge ahead and not dawdle in the past.
I can't wait to see it. I've never seen an intact colonial dome. There are only a few ruins in the canyon leading to Noctis, and they are in such a terrible state. Most are so badly destroyed that you need a pretty strong imagination to call them domes.
Technomancer gate. Gonna need your help, Andrew.
Then my help's what you'll get, buddy.
Zachariah Rogue in the flesh. Guess some rumors are true after all. Time to take out the trash. Kill them all!
This tablet's obviously ancient, but the text's undecipherable. This'll make for one hell of a translation job. Great Master Ian's the only one who could have read it. Maybe Dandolo's heard of another Technomancer who could, though. Still can't believe Alan was here.
Talk about climbing the corporate ladder, right? That fucker's now the alpha Technomancer of abundance.
How can he vouch for Victor, the man who caused the death of our Great Master? I knew Alan was ambitious, but to that extent?
That boy's always been an envious little deviant. I'm sure he was eager to... Do you remember how he pranked you back in school, like, when...
Scott, I'd rather keep my embarrassing childhood stories to myself.
Oh, but it was him. Not... Don't feel ashamed.
There will always be men who will sell out for phony rewards. Give him a medal, a pompous title, and he'll ask you where and when to turn in his mother. This infection of uncurbed greed happens even among mutants. Just look around. You've seen the pen. Some of the Guardians are mutants themselves. And they can be the harshest of them all, disciplining for the sake of breaking in their batons.
You taught your rival a lesson. Now we should know better than to run after you.
If I know Alan, it'll only get worse.
At least we found some information, even if we can't read it. How's your ancient hieroglyphics, Zach?
No, I can't. Nobody I know can, except Great Master Ian. It's a coded language that's nearly impossible to learn.
Dandolo will find you a translator. Let's hope it's worth it, and not something boring like a soup recipe.
Zachariah, your help would be indispensable once more.
I'm listening.
We need weapons because we will have to defend ourselves. My extraction operations have come to a full stop ever since the ASC arrested my mother. I got in touch with a man who can sell us military surplus, but he will not do business with a mutant. That is why I need your help. I would like you to come with me dressed as a merchant from Noctis and pretend you are one. I hope that you can buy his equipment from him without us knowing the purchase's real purpose. What do you think?
That doesn't sound too complicated. I guess I can do it.
Thank you. We will never forget what you did for us, Zach. Come join me when you find a merchant outfit, and we will go to the meeting point together. It is below a shadow path. I will show it to Amelia. Some mutants aspire for freedom everywhere, Aurora included. When I learned that the quartermaster was looking to dispose of stocks of merchandise, I sent messengers.
Messengers? Mutant messengers? And he still took the messages seriously?
No, I paid humans, noble-looking ones too. Plus, we have a few sympathizers over there, some of which are merchants who are always more than helpful, for a price.
I thought you didn't want Dandolo in the loop.
Indeed, I had to pay them. A lot. If there's any corporation you want to be heard talking about, just talk about Alliance. Avoid the others. Don't want to start anything.
Hey Zach, count on me if you need some help during the transaction. I've got real-life experience after all.
Phobos, if Dandolo finds out you're plotting behind his back,
He's my ally, Nisha, not my mother. Which means I don't have to tell him what I'm doing at every hour.
Hi, I'm Zachariah. Are you Sincerity?
Yes. Your message mentioned that you're a merchant and that you may be interested in some merchandise. I have some overstock that I'm willing to sell, but I want to be sure that this merchandise won't end up in enemy hands. Please understand that the safety of our corporation depends on it, and that I don't want any of my superiors to learn about this type of transaction.
I hear where you're coming from. Don't worry though, the stocks won't be resold together. I'll spread them out here and there so no one will be able to track the sales back to you. And obviously, if the stock's disseminated, your enemies will have a harder time mounting a strong enough offense to harm you.
Do you have a wide enough network to disseminate the merchandise afterwards? It's true that that's a pretty good solution. Very well then. I think that we can do business. Someday, I will kill that madman.
Who is this mutant? Why did he kill the merchant?
Kane. He refused any type of relationship with humans, and I guess that is his way of showing me that he disagrees with my trying to do business with them. But he failed the negotiation I had been working on for months without even realizing that we need these weapons. Anyway, I guess I need to find another way to stock up.
I'm so sorry, Phobos.
Don't be. Had I known that Kane would intervene, I would have never arranged our meeting there.
Kane, what a guy. Looks like he wouldn't hurt a fly. Instead, he'd kill hundreds.
He hates humans, hates their guts, and he won't stop until he dies. And unfortunately, he has a lot of followers. Such a waste. All that time spent for that exchange to turn into nothing. If I find out who told Kane about the meeting, I'd show him what makes me different from scum.
Take it easy, big guy. With all these intercorporation wars, finding weapons won't be too difficult. I could ask around for you.
Why, thank you, Andrew.
we were lucky Kane didn't attack you too, Phobos. He obviously doesn't like you. You're his natural competition for Chief.
I say bring him on. That brute doesn't scare me.
It's regarding what you found in Ophir, you know? In Scott's lab, my father's mail. I've thought about it, and I figured that we should try to find the kid. Scott's son.
Don't you think Scott tried everything to find his son? Besides, he risks reliving something he may not want to experience again.
That boy is connected to my father's disappearance, right? That's what that woman said. And look, the mutants have an almost normal life here. Scott didn't know that the city existed before. We could set up something new. What do you think? If we find out what happened to his son, we could not just bring him back here, but also find out what my dad went to do for Scott. I'm almost convinced that he was trying to bring him back his son.
All right, I'll look into it. Someone must know where to find the information regarding the new mutants.
Thank you! But I don't think Scott should know about all this for now. If something happened to his kid... Anyway, you know?
Here's his file. Nathan Seeker, April 115. Advanced symptoms of mutation were found in the child that his parents were hiding. The mutant was immediately transferred to the mine of Eos Chasma. Parents were sterilized during the procedure.
Eos Chasma, that's southeast of Ophir.
There's an addendum. June 119, the mutant formerly known as Nathan Seeker was transferred upon request AA-1532. The details of it are classified top secret. AA is the code that the Army usually uses. He was then moved as part of a military operation.
My father disappeared January 119, before the kid was transferred. So weird. What do you think's behind this story of a top-secret file? The hell does the Army have to do with all this? There's gotta be more.
I don't know, but we'll no longer learn anything else here. We should leave before we get spotted. I'm looking for my friend Scott. He just disappeared. Any idea where he could have gone?
Can't say that I have. He's not at the caravansary, though. If you want, I can check with my informants. Might have joined the caravan that just left, though. Your pal looked like he was missing Ophir, honestly. Then again, maybe he was kidnapped. Never can tell.
Just let me know if you hear anything. I need to find him. Thanks for the help.
My pleasure, as always.
They found some ancient documents. Looks like they date back to the settlers, but they're written in a language I can't read.
I thought you Technomancers were so well versed in our old dialects.
Maybe in Aurora. In Abundance, we're soldiers first and last. We learned some colonial knowledge during training, but the languages are barely taught. The Great Master was the only one who had that kind of knowledge.
So, now you need a Technomancer from Aurora to translate. I might know of someone. A renegade of sorts who left Shadowlair to become a hermit. Word was, though, your former comrades captured him. If he managed to hide what he was, he's probably a captive in one of their forced labor camps.
And getting to him won't be easy.
Exactly. But, if you want your document translated, you might just have to find a way.
And I want to go with you. Have a few things to settle there. This is important to me, Zachariah. What they do to the prisoners there is inhuman. I just want to help as many as I can.
You're not telling me something, are you?
I was a prisoner there once. I can't tell you what they did to me. I'm just asking you. Take me with you.
I get why you'd want to free him, but it also makes me nervous about letting you tag along. If we get there and you let your emotions run away with you, it's my life you're risking too.
You know me better than that. You've seen me keep my cool in the worst situations. Think about it all you want, but I'm the one who knows that camp by heart, remember? It's gonna be more dangerous for you to go in without me.
Expect at this camp.
Judging from Nisha's face, not something pretty. I feel like I'm driving a hearse.
Whatever you're thinking, it's 1,000 times worse. You're taking us to hell.
But aren't they called work camps?
More like prisons, where the primary goal is to break spirits and destroy free will. Their final products are submissive beings akin to farm animals, and their methods end up destroying some and brainwashing the others.
This Aurora Technomancer we search for must be hiding in plain sight. He'll be very discreet, so we'll have to look for someone normal. Almost too normal.
I hope we're able to free the other prisoners. We could help them get a fresh start in Noctis.
I know you want to sit with the cool kids, but my rover can only hold so many people. Sorry, can't take everyone.
If we can distract the guards, I can get Dandolo to send a rescue team. It wouldn't be the first time he's done that.
If Dandolo can bring the manpower, we can bring the diversion. We'll free them. Nisha, are you alright? How old are you? 70?
50 years old, but I had a hard life. Unfortunately, that leaves its mark.
Like technomancy takes its toll as well.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know anything about technomancy. You should talk to someone else.
I've heard that mechanics isn't your forte. It's a good hideout, isn't it?
The person who told you that I'm not good is simply bad-mouthing me.
If you say so. But this doesn't explain the way you speak. Polished for a mechanic. Listen, let's cut to the chase. Just let me look at your temples and that'll be it.
You are the pain in the neck, you know that. Very well. I am the one you are looking for, and your relentless questioning puts me in jeopardy if the word gets out here.
I specifically came to this camp in order to find you. You brought back a dome lost in the sands, a tablet that I'm unable to translate.
It is written in the settlers' coded language, one they use for the important data. By all means, I can translate it, but this type of thing can take time, and I can't do it here.
Come with us to Noctis. I am sure that you'll find a place to stay.
Noctis.
The city of the merchants. It's an independent city. There you won't have to fear Aurora or Abundance.
Well then, I'll follow you.
I'm glad to leave this place.
Me too. I don't care where you take me. Anywhere is better than prison.
It stank like fucking death in there. I don't know what to say. I feel ashamed. I'm from Abundance. What they do to people in there... inhuman.
To think that even Ophir looks like a paradise after seeing such a place. I am grateful, however, for we managed to save a few souls.
You okay, Nisha?
No, not really. I don't want to talk about it right now.
I get that the place could have triggered some bad memories. I'm sorry, Nisha.
Yolo, this is Patience, the Technomancer you told me about.
Ah, nice. Free of that shadow-forsaken labor camp. Must have been a living hell. A sincere pleasure to meet you.
Yes, nice to be free, but to be honest, I'm now stuck with no place to go. Can't and won't go back to Aurora. And Abundance was always so accommodating that I can't imagine the hospitality if they had known about my talents. Damn the ASC. And ever since my little desert refuge has been discovered, it's become a tad less cozy. Here I am, no roof, no real belongings. Only thing I have is this guy here who won't leave me alone until I translate some ancient text for him.
Well, I can't help with Mr. Mancer's needs for a translator, but I can give you a roof. It's the Noctis way, for we say, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Welcome to your new home, Patience. There are some empty houses in the northern part of the city. I'm sure we can set you up there.
Thank you, and a sincere pleasure to meet you, Dandolo. After trailing the groups you mentioned, it's obvious that they each have a few people among them who aren't just looking for you, but purposely seeding unrest in the population, and maybe pushing for an uprising.
Then we need to stop it.
Here's a description of everyone we found. Give me your map. There. I've marked every place you can find them. Shouldn't be hard for you to get them now.
Looks like Patience is gone. Judging by the mess, I doubt he left willingly. Bet you all the serum in the world the fucking ASC's behind all this. They need to be stopped before they overrun Noctis. And I need to find Patience. Fuck, and the tablet.
Zachariah, I was just starting to worry.
Before.
Bad news, I'm afraid. The ASC's not only in Noctis, but they're starting to threaten its safety. I know you did what you could to get rid of their spies, but if you stay here, they'll come back. And now we may be open to a direct attack from Abundance. I'm sorry, Zachariah. They're after you and your friends. I can't risk the safety of all my people for just you.
So you're turning your back on us?
No. I would never turn my back on a friend. I set a meeting for you with the Technomancers from Aurora. Their arms are open. You'll be safer from Victor with them by your side. You just can't stay here.
Why are you helping me?
A scratch on the back for what I hope will be a long-term relationship, Mr. Mancer. They'll meet you under one of their shadow paths. Take the map. You'll be well received. Now get going. As soon as you can gather your things and friends together. The longer you stay, the more danger those of us around you face.
How'd you manage to get in touch with Aurora's Technomancers?
Wasn't easy, but We have agents in all of the corporation's cities. The equivalent of Nisha, but not as easy on the eyes, lives in Shadowlair and was our point on this little mission. Their Technomancers are quite knowledgeable, powerful, and I assume the idea of having one of their counterparts from Abundance join them and give them a little upper hand probably put a few smiles on their faces. But their chief's name, it's slipping my mind. Profanity? No, something more. Chastity, promiscuity, generosity. Yeah, that's the one. Their chief's named Generosity, I think. He's quite chummy with the Dowser wisdom, I hear. Shouldn't be too hard for him to make you feel welcome. So set your mind at ease.
Now we're headed back to Aurora. This is the definition of insanity. Do you think they know how many times I've attacked them?
I'm really sorry, Zach. I'm sure Dandolo would have preferred to keep us all in Noctis. It makes me uncomfortable, but we can't keep Noctis under Victor's crosshairs. He wouldn't hesitate to wipe it off the face of Mars just to get his hands on you.
I don't know about that. Big Bad Victor is definitely a manipulative rat, but he's gonna have a lot of trouble wiping out a city like Noctis using a couple of harebrained schemes.
Do the corporations differ all that much? I know you were raised to think so, but as a mutant, I only see humans bickering over petty squabbles. The differences don't matter now, especially since they're welcoming you with open arms. Supposedly, Technomancers are treated well.
Here's the truth. I know this transition's gonna be hard for you. Aurora may ask you to fight against your former corporation. You may end up on the battlefield against men and women you knew from before. And at least there's no chance of coming up against an old Technomancer buddy, because they're all with you. Well, except for that Snake Allen. That doesn't really matter, right?
What bothers me is that they're gonna commandeer my baby. I'm warning you, Zach. I like you, but if they try to take my rover, I'm out. So fucking out! It's me and my rover or nothing.
We're going to take you down! You won't get away! The last fight before freedom, Zachariah!
Release him. Let him serve as our messenger. I hope, Zachariah, that you'll forgive this little charade. But it was a means to an end, necessary to ensure peace of mind, the safety of Noctis, and those who will now welcome you. The ASC now believes you uprooted yourself to Aurora, where they will never go looking for you. So, keep a low profile here, and you'll have nothing to fear. I hope that suits your needs. To send you to Aurora was never really an option. The political climate is not exactly conducive to a Technomancer. And here you have Phobos, who's offered to open the doors of his home to you. But I'll leave him to explain this better. Your brothers and sisters will follow you. Be well, Zachariah. Oh yes, one last thing before you go. So, I have some troubling news about your friend, Scott.
Where is he?
Mutants spotted him near the Shadow Path. Come here. Let me show you on the map.
Why would he go there?
Haven't the slightest. There's an Abundance outpost there. Might have been taken there by force. From what my informants told me, he looked like he was in a precarious situation.
Thanks for the info, Dandolo. Owe you one. Like I got ripped off. Dandolo had planned everything from the start. The costumes, the rover repair, and he even let Victor settle down without a word. All of that just to organize a fake meeting.
What did I tell ya? A douchebag with real nice clothes is still a douchebag. Even though he totally fucked us over, I gotta say, what you just did back there, real classy. Victor the Dictor's probably having a little tantrum.
I'm glad you find it amusing, Amelia. Go south. My people's refuge isn't far away. But you have to know where to look, or you'd never be the wiser.
What's it like? Magical city hidden away in a floaty island or something?
Nothing like that. It's a valley, or perhaps more accurately, a crater. There is vegetation there unlike anywhere else. Truly something you've never seen before.
A secret place that's one of a kind? What the fuck are we waiting for?
I'm used to not being welcome wherever I go, but this place, won't we be despised for who we are? After what they've all been through, the grudges they hold against mankind, more than understandable. But I'm worried, Phobos. Will your support be enough to grant us safe passage?
I believe so, but I'll also need to ask for Scum's support. He's our best orator, so as long as he's on board, it won't be a problem.
Farewell, Noctis. I'm sorry to have to leave you this way.
I'm sorry, Nisha.
Stop. It's not your fault. It's Victor's. I just hope I can come home soon.
You can do your business here, but you cannot enter the valley. No human is allowed there.
There must be a way to make an exception.
Sorry, Phobos. You know that I respect you, but I am following orders. To be honest with you, it is for your friend's safety. I do not know how they would welcome them in there. Maybe if another speaker supported them.
I will go see Scum. I managed to see him. He offered me something. Scum is an important figure here, one of the great speakers. People listen to him. If he supports you, you will be able to get in without being lynched, but he wants you to prove yourself by helping a group of mutants. From what he hears, a group of mutants have escaped a labor camp. They have not arrived here, though, so he fears they have found trouble. We will need to find them and see what has gone wrong. Bring them safely to the valley, and you will not only earn their support, but Scum's as well. Quite the asset.
All right. Do we know how they were supposed to get here?
The shortest and safest route to take is the canyon, right here.
Let's go see what happened to them.
Hell yeah, fucking right. There aren't many paths leading to Mutant Valleys that are safe from the sun. We'll find them.
For a successful escape, the breakout is just half the battle. The other half is diligence. It is likely that they moved slowly and decided to stop and hide at nightfall, so I am not worried. But a little help never hurt anyone. See anything, Amelia?
Nope, but we're still far from that place you showed us. My baby's fast, but it doesn't go the fucking speed of light.
One must muster quite a bit of courage to escape from a city, only to risk it all in the desert, defenseless while soldiers are in hot pursuit, or have already suffered greatly.
I wonder how long they chase after them once they've left the cities. Most people think it's impossible to survive in the desert. So wouldn't they figure they could let the desert do their dirty work for them?
I hope no one was wounded. Blood attracts creatures of all sorts, predators that'll pounce on the weak.
The day is rising. They must find a place to rest, and this cave is perfect to hide them from both the men and father's son.
But this cave has... he has a bad feeling. There's danger here, from the moment he wakes to...
No, we've already met and defeated danger, overcome it together. So he must stop behaving like a slave. Come!
Move away! Don't be afraid. Scum sent me from Mutant Valley to protect you.
We're almost to Mutant Valley.
You have our thanks, man.
Call me Zachariah.
Then you have our thanks, Zachariah. We will not forget what you have done for us. We must hurry now, though. The day is coming.
Just in time. That toad could have done some serious damage.
I think I'm gonna hurl.
Thank the moons. We were able to save them. I don't know if they could have survived without our help. Scum will be happy to see they made it. The gates of Mutant Valley will open wide for you this day, friend.
I'm antsy to get to town. I'm getting tired of spending night after night in this rover.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to bump you up to first class, bitch ass?
No. But even you have to admit, it'd be nice to go to the bathroom with a door.
I'm anxious to meet Scum. He's quickly becoming a legend around these parts. Some people in Noctis talk about him like he's some kind of messiah, even though he's only just been freed from Abundance's prisons.
Yes, he has lived most of his life at Camp 19, but he has shown great wisdom since his arrival, and he is quite the speaker. I think you two will get along very well. I know not a more devout advocate for peace.
Praise to the Shadow. You are here. I was getting worried about you.
What's going on, scum?
Cain is moving to take power. He came with dozens of followers, killed many who stood in his way, threatened to do the same to countless more. As for you and I, Phobos, I promise that he has already planned our deaths.
Zachariah, it is not my life I worry for. He will kill any and all who stand against him. He will wipe out human cities, destroying those with little more than sticks and rocks to defend themselves. Blood will drench this planet.
And I'm sure all our names are probably topping the list. And we better make a move before it's too late.
Look what we have here. The fool who believed he was a more worthy chief than me. It is now my way or no way. Follow me, or follow death.
We'll never change, Cain. Is your only path the one stained with blood, paved with hate? The same hate destroying your own people. Look around. This valley was once filled with peace, but is now filled with gravestones. You cannot continue to lead our people down this road.
You have gone too far, Cain. Fight someone your own size.
Do not kill him. Even if his heart pumps with pure hatred, spilling it makes us no better than he. It ensures more blood will follow. Please, be better than he is.
Scum. If I were as good as you, I would not be me. And that is all I can be. One cannot continue to trim a weed that will not stop growing and spreading its seeds. One must rip it out by the roots. He will start wars among us, or between us. He cannot live another breath.
Zachariah, you are living proof that our people can live in harmony. You have helped us enormously, but now I believe it is time to make a decision.
We must present a chief to the assembly.
The time for speaking, I am afraid, is dwindling. If our internal quarrels give rise to conflict within our own, we need someone to unite us. We must walk as one race, place differences aside.
Then it should be you. There is no mutant who lacks respect for you. And unlike Cain, your leadership will not spill blood.
As a strategist, though, you are greatly respected as well. Perhaps it is you who should run.
I know it may not be my place to give an opinion, but I think that it makes sense for you to be chief, Scum. You inspire them, and that's what they need.
Perhaps you are correct, Zachariah. Though the fear of needing to be not just a chief, but a strategist that must lead a charge to free our brothers, I do not know. But we shall see what my people have to say.
My love and support are yours, Scum. I will continue on with Zachariah until he finds peace, but I will come back to help you once it is done.
Humbly he stands before you. Once we spoke like this, remember? When we were bound in our chains, but that's behind us. And today, myself, Scum, in this valley that is ours, can finally say, I! And such freedom was bought with blood of our fallen brothers. Hear me when I speak these words. I also have the belief that our found freedom must be shared. And for that reason, let us rise, but with no violence, without freedom taken by crushing down those who, too, were once our brothers. So might we all be brothers someday, even those who once bathed in our humiliation. In my dreams, I see a planet where mutants and men live together, break bread together, bear witness as their kin play together. Let us not create adversaries with wrath, or become the cruelty once shown to us. Instead, let us show mercy, and in that mercy, let there lie our road to peace. And with the Shadow's mercy, may this dream of freedom and equality spread across the surface of our planet.
Zachariah, we must talk.
About what?
This is your safe house. The ASC could not reach you here, correct?
That's the hope.
But consider this. Even if Victor cannot reach you here, how many times has he tried to impede you, to track you? You've already had to escape from his grasp twice. Perhaps the time has come to be less passive, to gather your allies and take the offensive for once. Word of the power he accumulates in the People's Assembly of Abundance is terrifying. I speak not of violence, but perhaps of some other way to bring him down. With all that you have done for so many, I am certain many would be more than willing to come to your aid, and even more invigorated when that aid will bring such a tyrant to his knees. You have our support, the Technomancers, and any others you can gather. And from the great heights to which he has climbed, the fall will be tremendous. He will not recover.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it is time to take the offensive.
Greetings, Zachariah.
I think it's time I answered Victor's constant attacks. I'm gonna need help, though.
That's what family is for, Zachariah. We are family, united by the mutual suffering inflicted by Victor. His time to pay for all he's done has come. We are united in that.
Zach, I can't stop thinking about everything we heard from that dirtbag. Keep hoping it's all just a terrible lie, but if you wanted... There's something that doesn't make sense in this story. I can't come to terms with the idea that he told us the truth, but I'm also struggling to understand why he would have deported our little clique to martyrdom. We were nothing to him. I was told Gloria came to Noctis not long ago. I need to see her again, to confront her about this story, hear what she has to tell me. I could go alone, but it'd mean a lot to me if you came along.
I'm gonna come with you. I also want to find out what this is all about.
Thank you, Zach. That means a lot to me. Gloria, you are... Oh no.
Nisha, don't stay here. You shouldn't.
Zach, I'm not a child. Let me listen. I have to know. I have to... Nisha, I heard that you had left Ophir, that you come back here often now. I know that I won't be able to see you and tell you all this in person. I don't have the courage for it. So I hope that someone will give you this message, that you will listen to this and that you will forgive me. I did something awful, something that haunts me every day, every instant, something with which I cannot live today. You have always been strong, so much more brilliant, prettier. And me, I was in your shadow, and I felt that I was suffocating. So I went to see a man, a thief. I knew that he could plant false evidence and that he turned in people to the ASC. I said that you knew some things about their trafficking, that you were dangerous to them. And it worked. Too well, because they came to arrest our whole group. And during all those years spent with you in the camp, I knew that we were here because of me. When I saw how they were torturing you, when Nick died, I also wanted to die, but they refused. Today, I still carry the weight of my mistake and I can't bear it anymore. So farewell, Nisha. Farewell and forgive me. Your sister, Gloria.
I'm sorry, Nisha. Come on, let's go. I'll take care of the funeral. Don't worry.
Zachariah, what can I do for you?
I need allies to fight Victor in the ASC.
Then you came to the right place. The bastard came to our doorstep and threatened us. Sent thugs to capture one of our own who came in peace, seeking refuge. There's not a day that goes by that he doesn't grab and gain more power. The time's come to bring Victor down. You not only have me on your side, Mancer, but all of Noctis.
Zach, you came. I thought that it was all over. Thank you.
I wasn't gonna let those thugs kill you, but I'd like to know what you're doing here. Why did you disappear?
I was missing abundance. I was hoping... Anyhow, that was silly. I'm sorry. He tried to torture me, you know? He wanted to know where to find you, but I didn't say anything.
I don't really understand how you ended up here. Anyway, let's get back. You're in bad shape. I'm looking for some mutants on their way back from the canyons. I want to thank them for helping me find my friend Scott. Thank them and ask a few questions.
The group I think you are speaking of are nomadic. They go to the canyons and live off the currency of the information they can gather, selling it to your Prince of Noctis. I can show you where they reside if you would like.
I'd appreciate that.
How are you?
Someone told me about you, so I wanted to come say thanks. Your instructions helped me save my friend.
I'm just happy you got there in time. We would have helped ourselves, but feared letting humans know free mutants roam around.
Don't blame you. You see what led to all of that? By the time I got there, they tortured my friend, and the Technomancer in charge was leaving.
Found himself surrounded by the Technomancer and his soldiers. He wanted to know where they could find a man named Zachariah. You, I suppose.
What did he tell him?
Not the answer you are scared he gave. He said nothing of your location. Instead, he told this other Technomancer that he knew who he was, but it did not seem to matter. The question was asked again. This time your friend screamed back that he knew who he was, and that they must listen to him. That is when they began to beat him, and he began to scream for mercy. Mercy that would not come, even as he screamed that he could do something for them. The violence only grew. That is when we ran to warn Dandolo. What he was offering to do for them, I do not know. He never said. But it did not matter anyway. All they wanted to know was where you were. Nothing else to them mattered. The torture lasted for hours. Your friend may be not all there, but his loyalty cannot be doubted.
Thanks. And thank you for going to Dandolo.
Of course.
Scott, thanks for coming. Please have a seat. I'm just trying to understand something.
Ah, a scientific query. Let us engage.
No, not quite. I just wanted to understand what you were doing with Alan under that shadow path. A couple mutants saw you and said you told Alan that you knew what he was, and that you could do... Of course, the jackass didn't give a damn. All he wanted to know was where we were. But what the hell were you trying to do, Scott?
Do? I wasn't doing. I was doing something, but not what... There are opportunities in life. He might have become an ally, a great Technomancer. Even if you're not friends, he could... I was... a mistake.
Scott, how long have we known each other? How much do I owe you? You're like a father to me. You know that. And you could tell me anything.
Yes, and you like a more than a son, without all the messiness of diapers and all of... I'm just a stupid, silly old man, Zachariah. It is a rather laborious story, some of which you know, some of which it was 17 years ago, with our corporation's unparalleled obsession with the perfect man. I found myself ensconced in gene research. My son, my flesh and blood son. I loved that child, cherished him like nothing else, but my work stole time from him, more and more, and when he was diagnosed with symptoms of the mutation, I disintegrated. As the best geneticist in abundance, I ensconced myself in research of its genome, discovering its mutation, and I heard whispers of tests the settlers had made, because they, too, had been coping with the chaotic mutative effects of the radiation. So, my friend, Mark, delivered me to a distant city, remote, nearly unlivable. I stayed there, poring through their documents until one day, I uncovered their work on a therapy which had only a singular side effect.
It modified the human body's electrical production.
Precisely. Technomancers are the result of a controlled genetic manipulation. Mutations instigated to protect us from more erratic mutations created by the radiation. A discovery I found myself racing to try out on my son. But first, I needed test subjects. So I volunteered to heal children in the slums. Found 2 young boys there to test its efficacy. And lo and behold, it worked!
Andrew and me.
Yes, yes! Your abilities were gained thanks to my experiments, but that was not all that was gained. I had proof that I could replicate the therapy, and that, you know, now, could resist other forms of mutations. From there, well, I secured a research budget from the military, who in turn assured me they would return my son. But for him, it was too late. The experiment failed to help him, and I found myself with little choice but to end his suffering, rather than see him in a life of slavery, the life of a monster. And to the military, because I could not yet reveal what I knew, as I knew not yet what you were to become. Saw only my failure. I lost everything. Found myself socially exiled. And when Andrew's death came, you, Zachariah, became my only chance for success. My only chance to regain my past glory. So, I kept close to you for all these years. Until you finally became a Technomancer. My success. A chance for me to win back my approval. Glory within abundance. I would be the man who created Technomancers. We needed to escape. By seeing Alan, I had hoped to fix that. That they might take you back, and in turn, I might... Madness had overtaken me. Greed. Instead of being proud of my success in you, I only wanted more and more, and... Forgive me.
Leave me alone. Please.
If you have a minute, can we talk?
What's this about?
Thanks to you and Scott, I got my abilities back. Doesn't make me a Technomancer though, does it? Doesn't make me one of you. And I know you all go through a lot of training together, which I never had. Everything I know was picked up from an old renegade Technomancer who showed me some of the basics. Had to trade it for a little serum. But I'm tired of being on the outside. I just want to belong. If you, I guess, think I'm worthy or whatever.
You're right, Andrew. Maybe it is time to initiate you.
How painful is it?
Guess you'll see. He obviously can't use the old sight anymore, so you'll need some imagination. We can give it a go. Come on. There was a pitch-black circular room with a console in the middle. When I started it up, flickering bluish images appeared. A doctor examining a man. The man had apparently undergone a mutation that allowed him to generate a massive electrical charge. He was the first Technomancer, Andrew.
So you're saying you and I are...
Afflicted with a specific mutation that the settlers were studying. It's why they created our gear. You, who has witnessed the secret with your own eyes, who, in your heart, knows the knowledge that he bears is true, and has understood that this knowledge could cast our kind into an endless pit of despair. As you drink the sap of the world, the water that feeds our lives, abandon who you thought you were, and now become our brother, Andrew Mancer. Together, we've shared the water and secret. Now, swear to forever protect the knowledge of the Earth and dedicate your life to finding it again. to defend and protect our secret, even if you must sacrifice your life to do so.
I swear I will.
Then, welcome, brother.
I want to thank you, Zach. I'm still trying to come to terms with some thoughts and feelings about what we found in the dome together. What we've found together. All of it. I never felt so close to anyone. No one's ever given me this much before. I guess what I'm saying is, and I don't want to say something that's gonna, whatever, but it made me realize you mean more to me than a friendship. More than... You've become someone I want to be like. No. Someone I want to be with.
It's not gonna whatever me, Andrew. I feel exactly the same way. The same. Next time we're on break, come meet me in my bedroom. If you want.
I do. And I will. You alone?
Not anymore.
Zach, being this close, going through this journey together, I don't want it to stop. Ever.
Me too. I get it. I've been alone for so long, I never thought I would have someone enter my life. Someone I would feel so close to. There's no reason why it should stop. Not ever. I always feel funny seeing the city from a distance.
That's because it looks like a big old beetle with its metal shell. Wait for a sandstorm, and you'll get to see the beetle fly. Who wants to stick around for a sandstorm? No? No takers?
Ah, home sweet home, as they would say. Though, I'm not sure who they... Oh, I do hope my clinic is still there.
No reason it wouldn't be, Scott.
But it's a wily one. My clinic, I swear, it once moved overnight.
You were just stinking drunk.
I'm getting a bad taste in my mouth. I can almost smell my people's blood and sweat from here.
I've been spending my whole life sneaking in and out of this city. Getting sick of it.
As long as Vic the Dick is around, he'll be hunting for Zach, and we'll have to keep a low profile. But if it bothers you so much, I can drop you off here.
I don't want new friends. I'd rather change our destination.
Ophir's quite ominous from a distance, like a big black tick hanging above the canyon, sucking the life out of its citizens. Sorry, was that too dark?
Captain, good to see you. I know this will sound crazy, but I need your help. The armies. I think I've come up with a way to turn the Assembly against Victor, but for it to work, I'm gonna need allies.
It's not crazy, Zach. He's out of control. Something needs to be done. The Army always remembers a good soldier's loyalty. We sure as hell can't help you officially, but we'll do anything we can for you under the table.
What's going on?
You probably remember that someone turned in my mother. She was one of our backers in Ophir. Without her, our plans to smuggle out our brothers are quite impossible to happen. And I miss her a lot. And then there was Kane's attack while we were about to seal the deal with that Aurora official. Someone turned us to our enemies once again. This can't be sheer coincidence. Someone is trying to slow down our effort and impede our cause. Beyond the fact that what happened to my mother deserves vengeance, I must stop the one who was behind those betrayals, or he will end up making our young nation lose.
Are you thinking of someone in particular? Maybe Kane's men? After all, he did step in to scuttle the negotiations with the merchant.
No, only a few people knew my plans, and even fewer my mother's identity. Especially not Kane. He must have been given information on the negotiator. I don't have a name, unfortunately, and that's why I'm asking for your assistance. It's probably someone close. Someone who lived in Ophir with a good excuse to travel to Noctis often. You're good at investigation. I've seen you at work. Help me find the culprit and stop him from doing any more harm.
Alright, I guess that we could learn more about that traitor by talking to the Valley people.
Thank you, Zachariah.
Please, Seth, let me live. I did nothing.
You betrayed your people. Never stopped being a slave. Supporting Phobos, who is more human than mutant. You deserve to die!
Seth, please! Allow me to take shelter!
Seth, it is you who are the traitor. If your hate for me is so great, let Deimos go and come after me. Let your rage be fulfilled.
Thank you. Thank you for helping. I thought that was the end.
Why?
Why what? Why did I turn in your mother? Ruin your plans with that man from Aurora? Because you Phobos are a traitor. Closer to your human mother than to us. Your own kind. I thought cutting that cord might pull you back to us. I was wrong. Even now, you leave us to go with that human. For what? While idiots like Deimos dote on you, defend you, swear you have had your reasons. Cain may be savage, but at least he knew where his loyalties lay. Remembers what we all went through.
Does your hatred have no ends, Seth? Does the cancer still spread through you?
It's my turn to ask, why, Phobos? Why did you abandon me?
Though we are at full strength, we must devise a way to compromise Victor's popularity at the Assembly.
I've got a lead. There's this grizzled old general who's been bitching about the lack of info he gets about Aurora. Right now, he's the only one with the balls to call Victor the Dictator incompetent. According to him, the Aurora Dowser's down shit creek and may have been booted off his post. If we can prove that General is right, it isn't just some senile old man. Maybe the Army's head honchos will be pissed enough at the Colonel to kick his buns in the sun.
We would need hard evidence.
I'm almost positive that Dandolo can help us. Noctis sends merchants everywhere, after all.
We also have some connections with Technomancers over there. They should be able to tell us what happened.
We could try Anton. Aurora's a little far, but there's no place that's safe from Anton's little birds.
It's a start.
Even if abundance is run from the top down, members of the Assembly would pay attention to uprisings. Some of your local allies can help you stir up some anger in the masses. The ASC has made their lives miserable for months. People are arrested on a whisper, live huddled in fear. It would not take much to spark the powder keg.
It's a good idea, but we can't influence entire populations by ourselves. We'd need allies hidden among the people.
Back when I was an artist, I got into some altercations with Assembly members who thought my shows were blasphemy. Maybe it was because I didn't say Hail to the Shadow 50 times. I can't say for sure, but if we could get them to think that Victor isn't a devout believer, we could get the large religious sect of the Assembly to revoke their support and demand his banishment. Or we could just give them a little nudge in the right direction by making them believe Victor steals relics for his own use.
We'd have to stage an elaborate setup, but I like it. After all, Trickster must get what he gives. We'll need volunteers that can pretend to be ASC. The plan is right up Anton's alley. It's possible for Dandolo or the opposition to help us out too.
One last thing. I was told the High Judge endorses all of Victor's decisions, even though I know for a fact that he hates him, which is more than a bit strange. The judge is such an honest man.
Or if you're in the mood to make a scandal, I've got everything we need. Did you know that Victor employs young women to worm out information on men he keeps tabs on? And I'm not Victor, but I have a feeling he used that info to blackmail these same men. If we can prove it, the Assembly would have a major meltdown. Their beloved Colonel, a pimp? To find evidence of his trafficking, we could look for the orders he gave his goons. Have you seen his hands? Far too immaculate to be doing this dirty work himself.
The Vori aren't doing anything about it. Must be profiting from it somehow. This is a dead end. We need to find a new approach.
Indeed. How's this? I've heard that a small faction of the Assembly blindly backs up Victor, no matter how crazy the project is. So I believe it almost certain that their chief of this faction was bribed. So unless we bribe him ourselves, we'll have to silence him.
It's not ideal, but I have no way of finding out what dirt the ASC has on that man. We'll have to go without his support and hope we can get enough voters elsewhere.
All these ideas will indeed cut off Victor from his support network.
But
this is going to sound self-interested, but if we could help the mutants escape from the pen, it would expedite the Colonel's downfall. The people and the Assembly would be outraged to know that after decades of civilized control, Victor was the one who couldn't keep them in check. I'd like to see the Colonel try to justify his mistake of so many slaves, particularly ones notorious for their feeble minds.
no, it's not selfish. It's a good plan. We're gonna help mutants in the pen prepare their escape. After a mass breakout like that, his reputation will never be the same. Thank you, all of you, for the ideas. Now let's make them happen.
Greetings, Zachariah.
Rumor is Aurora's dowser was deposed. I need to know it's more than rumor, though. If it's true, we might be able to convince some members of the Assembly that Victor needs to go.
Even though I don't like the idea of continuing the conflict between Abundance and Aurora that has caused so much suffering, if it's what needs to be done to dethrone Victor, I have a few contacts among Aurora's Technomancers. They're not quite brothers, but they're at least like cousins. And I've heard their messengers nearly always follow one particular shadow path. Let me show you. This one here. If you go, you may be able to stop one of their couriers. If the news you're expecting is as important as you say, I'm sure it will be in the documents they are carrying.
Thanks, Melvin.
Zachariah, I've received a message from Dandolo. He has some information on the disappearance of patients.
Really? Did he learn where he was taken?
The ASC had him locked up in an old dome near Ophir. In his message, he says that it's a dome that Technomancers used to use. Does this sound familiar to you?
Hard to forget. Yes. That's where initiations would take place before a mantis destroyed everything. We'll have to go free him. The place must be teeming with soldiers fighting for Victor. But we can't leave the old Technomancer in their hands. Square one.
Damn, that's weird. But I thought the dome was in ruins. So then, where'd they put that old geezer?
There should be a few standing structures next to the ones that collapsed. Unless they've already started clearing the rubble.
That sounds like bad news.
It would be. There were secrets in those ruins. I would rather have stayed buried. Especially from the ASC.
That's the problem with secrets. All that time spent worrying about someone finding out. It's a burden that turns into a habit, that turns into obsession. I know you're just as scared about what's in the dome as what patients might reveal. I just hope the old man's still holding on. He's as stubborn as an unfed ostrich. But I don't know if it'll be enough in the hands of the ASC.
Poor Patience. He thought he was finally safe in Noctis. Instead, we threw him straight back into Victor's arms.
What do you mean? We saved him from that camp.
It's just, we must have attracted the attention of Victor's spies when we asked Dandolo to keep an eye on him. He was supposed to be just another nobody in Noctis, but our request ended up selling him out.
These thugs, more like cavemen with bigger sticks, don't understand respect, science, age, or knowledge. Any problem they can't solve, they'll use torture. What's 2 plus 2? I don't know. Let's torture the mathematician and find out. Ugly brutes. If they take power in abundance, they'll turn it into a Darwinistic jungle. A whole group of psychopaths wanting to take control of everything through mindless violence.
Sounds like this story hits close to home.
It's true. I understand what that poor Technomancer must be going through. The pain. So, I hope we find him soon.
We'll have to be careful. The place must be teeming with troops. And as much as I believe in the honest run and gun, if they hold patients hostage, our rescue plans might have to be a bit more sophisticated.
You're right.
Patience! Wake up! Patience, come on! Damn it, they almost killed him.
Stop! Let me go. I won't tell you it! Zach? Holy shit, is it really you?
What the hell happened to you?
I was on the way back to my place. There was someone behind me, and before I could turn, he was on me. Next thing I knew, I woke up in a cell. Ugh, they tortured me for days. Wanted me to talk, wanted me to tell them everything I knew about you. Where you were, what you were doing, what we found.
Did you figure out what the tablet said?
Unfortunately. If I hadn't, then I wouldn't have been able to tell them anything, but I just finished when they found me.
What did you tell him?
At the beginning, I fought, Zach. I did. I fought. Didn't say a damn thing. Then Victor came. And the shit he did to me, Zach, you have no idea. I didn't tell him everything. I didn't, but I had to tell him something. Or I told him what I found in the tablet. Everything. I'm so sorry. I...
Stop. It's fine. You did what you could. Everyone's got a breaking point. What did it say?
It talked about a giant research base that was able to keep in contact with Earth. They had a beacon and gave the base's coordinates. I mean, the coordinates weren't up to date anymore, so I had to recalculate them, but it's in the South Pole, Zach. It's protected by a huge layer of ice.
If you can walk, we need to get out of here.
I can. Let me try. Just let me rest a minute. Just a minute.
All right, let's untie you and get you out of here.
Must find the City of Ice before they do, Zachariah. If Victor finds the beacon, he could use it to gain the people's trust. Furthermore, if he finds the secrets buried there...
He's got a head start, but we'll catch him.
Aye, aye, Zach. If it's really the City of Ice.
What?
I'll have to make some mods. It'll be tougher than you think. Also, wear an extra layer or two if you don't want to freeze your nuts off.
Big Ice City. That reminds me of...
A tangent that'll lead to another tangent?
No, Yes, that was it.
As long as Victor has the Assembly's blessing and the full support of the ASC, it'll be pointless to look for that city. With his huge resource advantage, he beat us there every time.
What do you think we'll find in that lost city? You know, besides the beacon. I suspect the settlers brought back plants and animals from Earth, and probably left some in that base. And if just a few survived, we could find an ecosystem unlike any on Mars, completely sheltered by the ice.
Why should we go to this city instead of just overthrowing Victor? What are you planning?
I'm looking for a beacon. I want to get in touch with Earth, but not so I can run from the ASC, and so I can reunite with our ancestors, gain back everything we've lost. With the people of Earth, we can stop the wars over water. We can utilize the technology we lost. We can understand the choices they made.
That sounds perfect. Too perfect. I hope what we find doesn't disappoint you.
Meet Patience. We just broke him out of one of the ASC's jails. He could use a place to recover.
Then he is welcome to recover here. Our healers, patients, will be honored to tend to your wounds.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you. All this reminds me of an old hiding spot I had in the desert. Thank you again, both of you.
This is real nice and all, but I don't know about all this.
About what?
I'm guessing you're gonna want to go to that city, right? Right. Problem is, that city's coordinates, according to what Patience said, is the South Pole. Rover's good, but it ain't that good.
Any way to make it that good?
I don't know. Gotta think about it. I mean, it'd need some sort of ice-breaking blade in the front and insulation around the whole thing.
If I know you, I'm sure you'll figure it out.
I like your faith in me, but... Problem is, I don't have a damn clue how to add all that heavy shit to the rover's frame without slowing it down like fucking crazy. My dad would have known what to do. Not my dad, though. I knew he'd made improvements to his machines, but I don't remember seeing any diagrams. Though they could be somewhere in the shed. I don't know. Maybe Scott could help us?
We can ask, I guess, then head to the shed with him. See what we find.
Gonna be damn fucking cold out there, Zach.
Maybe we should go borrow some gear from Victor. He's known the site's coordinates a lot longer than we have. Sure, he's built some cold weather equipment already.
I like the way you think, Zach.
Zachariah, what can I...
I need your help. I'm trying to compel some assembly members to withdraw their support for Victor.
You have my attention.
There's a fraction of religious assembly members that would be appalled to learn Victor keeps certain relics for personal use. And if they did, it's all but certain that they would drop their endorsements and exile him.
And how exactly do you plan to prove that?
Oh, just by making Victor's relic collecting a little more visible to the public eye. Imagine a few ASC agents carrying relics, along with orders stipulating that they bring these objects to the Colonel. They're chugging along until they bump into a group of concerned citizens who insist they bring the relics back to the proper authorities.
Ah, so I guess you'll play a concerned citizen while my men dress up as ASC agents. They won't be flattered, but if you provide the costumes, they'll take care of the rest. I am pleased to know that my use of disguises inspired you. Perhaps we'll own a theater together someday. Anyway, you can count on me.
Greetings, Mr. Law. I know you're a religious man, and from one man of faith to another, I wanted to give you these relics, and this message.
Relics? Where did you recover these?
Some friends and I overheard several ASC soldiers. They were going to deliver these relics to Victor for his personal use. We were outraged by their sins. So as they made their way to the Colonel, we stopped their blasphemy from going any further. We attacked them and recovered these relics.
How despicable! Colonel Victor must be corrected if he feels he could desecrate our relics. Anyway, you showed great bravery, young man. We need more heroes like you. The Shadow won't forget you, I am sure of it. I'll return the relics to the People's House right away. And like all of us, the Colonel will pay for his sins. I'll tell my friends. Victor will receive our support no longer!
Thank you, Mr. Law. I'm so glad I did the right thing. Your Honor, I wish I'd known. You sent me that message?
I need to talk to you. I've kept an eye on you since you saved me. I never believed the lies the Colonel's been spreading about you. I just, unfortunately, did not know how I could be of help. Victor is a power-hungry sociopath, driven by his personal goals, destroying abundance. I've known it for years, but could never do anything about it.
Why not?
4 years ago, my son disappeared, and soon after, I started receiving messages telling me that if I ever wanted to see him alive, I needed to make certain decisions in my court. I never knew for sure who was behind it, even if I had my suspicions. Only recently did it become clear. Every decision I was instructed to make cleared the way for Victor's rise to power. He's holding my son, making me his puppet. It has to stop. For my son, for abundance, do you hear me? I have seen your strength with my own eyes. Save my son, and I promise you will not from this day forward fight the ASC alone. With my influence in the Assembly, I could easily have you reinstated.
I just want Victor to fall. That's enough for me. Any idea where he might be holding your son?
I wish I did. I know the ASC has secret facilities. Some say they're in the underworks. I don't know. Hearsay, perhaps, but if true, maybe someone in the army or mutants who helped build them might know better.
I'll do my best, Your Honor. I promise.
Who are you? You're not a member of the ASC. What are you... How did you get in here?
You Simon Judge's son? Your father asked me to find you and bring you home.
Bullshit. My father abandoned me years ago, and now he comes to rescue me from the only people who have cared for me since? He never gave a damn about me. Can't you see I'm happy here? The ASC is my new family. Get out.
He didn't abandon you. The ASC kidnapped you and have been using you to blackmail your father. He's been following their demands for the past 4 years, all to keep you safe. As soon as he learned about your whereabouts, he sent us to bring you home.
Why the hell should I believe you?
Because I'm telling you the truth. I know it doesn't make any sense right now, but the ASC's chief, Victor, had you kidnapped years ago to manipulate your dad. And your dad never knew who had you. Your dad only figured it out after he was asked to just openly support Victor's power grab. Once he knew, he sent us.
I don't... But where is he? If it's true, then where is my father?
go to the Curiosities, a bar in the slums. Wait there and your dad'll meet you. If he's not there when you get there, just ask the bartender to hide you for a while. He's used to that kind of thing. You find your boy?
Yes, I sure did. He's in a safe place now. He's recovering. Being isolated as much as he was has... well, it'll take time, I'm sure, for him to be back to his former self. Until then, I will find a way to turn the Assembly against Victor. Let him try to get another law passed. It'll be like hitting a mountain.
Thank you.
No, Zachariah. It is I who am indebted to you, not just for what you have done for my family, but for Abundance, who deserves better than this tyrant.
I want to keep investigating. Remember what we found in the archives? The secret military shit in Eos Chasma?
Yeah. So how do you want to do this?
We gotta find a way to get into the military archives in Ophir and steal some files.
We don't even know where these files are, Amelia. But maybe I know someone who could point us in the right direction. Eliza Major, my former captain, would have access to all of them.
Ask her to read them and tell us what the hell's in there then. After that, we just gotta get back to the rover and make trails for Eos Chasma.
That road must have been taken dozens of times, Amelia. If your father was there, we'd have found him by now.
That's not true, Zach. Nobody takes that road anymore. Not with the shadow paths. There's no reason to take the rovers that way since the area's already been mapped out. All he wanted was to find that kid. We should take that road, Zach. Please.
Sure. If that's what you want to try. You know it's been a long time though, Amelia. The odds of us ever finding him alive...
They don't exist, Zach. He's dead. I know that. Honestly, I just want to know why.
Captain, good to see you. I really need some information about Scott Seeker's son. Like, what happened to him after he got arrested.
You know how monitored we are, Zachariah? What do you want? I go poking around, we could find ourselves fired. Or worse, for a mutant?
Whatever we find isn't gonna bother anyone today, but it could bring some peace to the people who never stopped loving or wondering what happened to the boy. The more I learn about it, the more complicated it gets. I'm just trying to bring some peace, Captain. Just look into some dusty files. No one's gonna care.
All right. Hope you're right, Zachariah. We'll dig into the archives, but it'll take some time. Tomorrow would be the earliest.
Tomorrow it is. Thank you. I'll come back then. You a messenger?
Look, I can't tell you anything. Please, if I can't. The information I have is...
I know, but you're gonna have to comply. Train stopped. I'm gonna need your tablet and all the information that you can provide me about your dowser.
What? I would never jeopardize Aurora.
Either way, you're gonna give me what I want. You can give it to me, or I can pry it from your cold, dead hands.
You don't understand. Now, if I tell you, they will kill me. Either way, I will never be able to return to Aurora. Our dowser, Wisdom, was dismissed, executed. Take my tablet. It has anything else you want to know. Now please, please leave me alone, please.
So what did you learn?
Strange things. Scott Seeker was, apparently, much more respected back in the day. He even managed to convince the army at one point that he could heal and trigger mutation. The idea of triggering mutations apparently really got some interest, and the army launched a new division and put him in charge. They even brought him a few mutants to run tests on, one of which was his son. It obviously never went anywhere. Nobody got healed. The program was shut down, and the mutants, including his son, were terminated. So sad. Almost makes you want to look at the old man differently.
Yeah, sure does. Thank you, Captain. Hoping to find there, Amelia.
I don't know, debris? Tracks? Just something to help me understand how a top reacher like my dad could get lost on Eos Chasma, one of the easiest fucking roads on the planet.
My guess, he got into an accident. Something he couldn't avoid. It's happened to us, after all.
Maybe. I just want to find out. That's all I'm asking.
I don't I fear I may be getting sick.
Sorry, Scott. I understand that looking for the remains of your best friend is probably painful, but Amelia deserves answers.
Sometimes the past just gives us answers when we're afraid to know. I just hope that won't be the case this time.
Even if we find the rover wreck, it'd be easy pickings for a passing scavenger or thief. So there might not be much left.
The fuck you say that for?
Sorry, I just don't want you to get your hopes up.
Whoa, Amelia, ease up. I know you want answers, but it's probably best not to crash while looking for a crash site.
You kidding me? Wonder what you'd say if we actually went fast.
I guess everyone's version of moderate is different.
Looks like we found a tablet. And it still works.
Scott, I don't know if you'll ever get this message. It doesn't really matter now, I guess. Of my own peace, I just need to... So many things I wish I could tell you. My last thoughts and breaths are filled with regrets. I can't even blame you for sabotaging my rover. I was supposed to be your friend. I was supposed to be there for you. I was supposed to try to empathize with all the hurt and fear you were going through. But all I can bring myself to care about is making you stop obsessing about your son. Make you go back to being your old self for my own benefit. To have my old friend back. It was selfish. I was selfish. Even from the outset. The only reason I ever helped was just to help bring an end to the obsessing. And in the end, my own obsession with that goal led me to take away your son so you would stop. I wanted to take him so far away that you'd have no recourse but to give up hope. But you figured me out. You stopped me, and now I'm paying for it. I'm so thirsty. The rover is becoming unbearably hot. Unbearably hot. Forgive me, my friend, as I forgive you. Tell my daughter I'm sorry for not being courageous enough to keep her by my side. I should have fought for her. Stopped her from being taken away from me. Between the two of us, you were always the better father. Good to your boy. And here I am. Sid, never mind. Farewell, Scott. Take good care of Amelia for me, my friend.
I can't even... He was here the whole time? Not even that far from Ophir. If I ever find out who sabotaged his rover, who's responsible for him dying? You find something?
Yeah, I found this. There's a message on it, Amelia. One you're not going to be happy to hear.
Whatever it is, it's better than not knowing the truth. Give it.
Scott, I don't know if you'll ever get this message. Regrets. It doesn't really matter now. I can't even blame you for sabotaging my rover. I was supposed to be there for you. I was supposed to try to empathize with all the hurt. The only reason I ever helped was just to help bring an end to the obsessing. So far away. And in the end, that you tell my daughter I'm sorry, but to give up courageous enough to keep her by my side. So I should have fought for her. The rover. Take good care of Amelia for me, my friend.
Where the hell's Scott? Where is he? I found my father's rover and a tablet he left. You're a fucking murderer. And to think I called you a friend all these years.
What are you... What tablet? What...
You're gonna pay for his death. I promise I'm gonna make you pay.
Amelia, stop. You heard what the captain said. Scott launched an entire military program just to save his son. He did everything he could to help him, and it was all in vain. What he did to your dad? It was awful. But he was just doing whatever he could to save... Look at him. He's paid enough already.
I don't give a shit. I barely knew my dad because of him. You fucking pathetic old piece of shit. Get the fuck out. Just get out. Get out before I change my mind!
Sorry, Amelia.
Leave me alone.
This is what I feared. It is better to let the dead rest.
So, You guys don't think it's kinda toasty?
Amelia, look at me. You have to move on. You cannot change the past. All we can do is make the best of the time we have.
Shut up!
Hey, you wanted to see me?
Ah, yes. Sorry we had to meet here. The source must have been difficult to get to. But I'm pleased to finally make your acquaintance.
Yeah, this isn't exactly homey. What can I do for you?
I've been informed about Colonel Victor's less wholesome activities and your role in revealing them. With the assembly in uproar, my group is trying to take a stance amidst the chaos.
Colonel Victor's scandals and his methods have shocked the members of the congregation and the common people. Continuing support of the Colonel is political suicide. The trust between the people and their leaders must be restored for the good of abundance.
You may be young, but you are wise. Victor is in a precarious position, and if his head is on a stake, his allies will join him. Better to jump ship before the crash. I, for one, have never approved of his methods, but the results have always been effective. The winds are changing, momentum is shifting, and we must show our objection to his brutality.
Corruption is rampant at every level of our corporation, but who can say no to serum?
Are you trying to bribe me?
No, of course not. I was simply referring to the Colonel's buyouts of certain assembly members. Back scratching has been toxic for abundance. For now, Victor roams unchecked.
I agree. Alone, I can do nothing but agree. Perhaps it is time to gather truly honest men to represent the people of our great corporation.
Look around you. Do you see the people? They're scared, angry. Victor's incessant intrusion has violated the privacy of their lives, their relationships. They no longer feel free. All this whistleblowing has shattered our sense of community. No one trusts each other, and vendettas and misunderstandings alike send innocents to be imprisoned, tortured, or killed at the ASC's whim. Colonel Victor won't stop until he pushes the people of Abundance to flee or fight to the brink of revolution.
You're painting a very dark picture here. What you're saying could happen, I agree. Victor's playing with fire, and the flames grow with each passing day. We could lose everybody. Our workers, our scientists, our soldiers. And they will be turned into our worst enemy.
Our army's ranks are spread thin and filled with the Colonel's lackeys. If he wanted to seize power, declare martial law, Abundance wouldn't have the strength to repel him. And his unjustified arrests of our master Technomancers forced them to flee, adding to our enemy's advantage in skilled forces. Many of our soldiers have deserted, some unwilling to participate in Victor's madness. Others turned mad by his combat drugs. We must stop Victor before it's too late.
Oh my. I did not realize Victor had taken things so far. This is grave news. You're right. We need to curtail the bleeding, so we can give our army a chance to rebuild.
I remember a time when Abundance was the crown jewel of Mars, the epitome of the best of doctors, technicians, scientists. But today, these bright minds are, oh, the horror, a travesty that Zachariah neglected to tell you about, the vilest scandal of all. My colleagues who don't run away are put away into re-education camps, giant brainwashing centers. This spiteful man you call Colonel is persecuting our best.
Really? This is the first I've ever... If this is true, this is indeed a problem. Without our scientists, we'll soon lose our advantages over our rivals.
Listen, man. I'm the poster girl of abundance. This city, it's my home. So when I see what this piece of shit, human garbage Colonel Motherfucker has done to it, it makes me pretty pissed off. We can't let this continue!
I think I now understand why we didn't include a caption with the photo. You are quite persuasive. You have convinced me. I will go and try to do the same to my peers. Of course, even with unanimous focus and direction, it will take months to regain the trust of our people and rebuild the strength of our army. But most urgently, we must remove the man who started it all. An extraordinary meeting will take place in a few hours, and I have no doubt that it will end with good news.
No mercy for traitors! Treacherous scum!
Two-faced bastard! Cut out his tongue!
Bumbling fool! Throw him in with the mutants!
Alright, so you got everything you need now to get your rover ready for the ice, yeah?
Only thing I need left is some time. A day should do it. Want me to get started now?
No reason to wait. Gotta be ready as soon as possible. We're here. We're finally here. I hope the beacon of this lost city actually works.
For fuck's sake, it's better. Walking to the pole would be a pain in the ass. Our rover mods have made my baby more sluggish than, well, me after a few drinks. Anyway, I can tell you that we aren't the first to go down this path.
You think it's the ASC?
Not sure, but I can make out tracks. Some of which look older than you.
This brings back memories.
What else is fucking new?
No, I've been down that road before. Yeah, I'm 50, 90, 100% sure. It's with your father.
And you couldn't say that earlier?
I wasn't familiar with the road. I'm sorry. I just didn't realize that this was the city that we...
Alright, settle down, you two. Let's not dwell on the past. We can do that later, when it's warm. But Scott, if you've been here before, your memories could be useful.
How strange. This feels like we're going back in time. I wonder how this will change things between humans and mutants.
If we contact Earth, many things will change. And if we have any say, those changes will be for the betterment of all mutant kind.
Soothing words, but I cannot help but be suspicious. They may be our ancestors, but I have the feeling they won't be pleased with their descendants.
I wonder if Victor's beat us to the punch. If he did.
He wouldn't destroy it. He couldn't. He's an egomaniac. He'd just want credit for being the first to turn it. No, what worries me is what happens if he discovers our secret.
Either way, it's time to end this. Time for a little payback. Mancer style.
Zach, I'm nervous. Whatever we discover could change our lives, and everyone's on Mars. Do we really want to contact a planet that has neglected us for so long?
If we don't do it, someone else will. And they might have less than pure intentions.
True. Better us than someone like Victor. But still, it's such a precarious responsibility.
Alan, what are you doing here? I was just reading, and I found out. Shit, this is your fault. You knew?
That we're all mutants? Yes. That's the secret. The one we share at initiation and bear into our grades. The one we try to protect at any cost. Do you understand why now?
You, the others. I could see it. I wouldn't even be surprised, but me? Never. I could never be one of those abominations.
We all have the genes that the settlers made. Just like Great Master Ian was. Just like Sean was. Just like Connor, Melvin, Andrew, and I are. You are a mutant, Alan.
Shut up! Not another word!
Are you done?
I am sorry, Zach. What have I done? I've tried so hard to destroy you and the others. Wanted so much to be the best, that I ended up rushing my brothers, my sisters, towards their ruin. You were so gifted, so loved by our masters. I hated you and them with a passion, and I could never understand why. I was blind, stuck believing that I deserved to be special. If I only knew that then. He knows you know, because of me.
You're talking about Victor.
Yes. He was there when we found the documents, and the moment they were in his grasp, he looked at me like a piece of meat and started laughing. The charm melted away and the cruelty came. You have to kill him, Zach. If he survives.
I know. I'll do my duty. Question is, what should we do with you?
He tortured me, almost killed me, but is an eye for an eye really the solution? Everyone deserves a second chance, Zachariah, even the cruelest of men.
Zachariah and Andrew. I was wondering if you'd make it this far. But I must admit you're particularly sharp. For a mutant. You are too late. I've already discovered the dark secret that your kind has hidden for so long. However, this city... amazing, isn't it? So full of wonders. A complex of keys to a brand new world.
That doesn't matter. You're not gonna live to see it.
Really? Do you intend to kill me? Like that poor boy Jeff? You won't get the opportunity, I'm afraid. My men are a little bit on edge after what you did to their comrade. Now, if you would be so kind, I'm going to pry that last secret out of the belly of this city. The one that will give me a hero's welcome back at Abundance. Help me impose a new world order. Farewell, Zachariah. Chin up. Thanks to your hard work, Abundance will now have a bigger, brighter future.
Sorry to bother you, but I'm gonna have to stop you right there.
I have to admit, even after everything, you are still full of surprises. Such tenacity. Scott. I figured someone had to lead little Zachariah to the right spot. What are you doing with this strayed dog? You were the first modern scientist to discover the secret of the Technomancers. And although I haven't read all your research, I can say that I'm quite the fan. Come, join me in Abundance, and I'll find you a comfy chair near the head of the table.
You have the charming rhetoric of the empty promises of an amateur tyrant. You think yourself better than people, but you have no idea. Technomancers are the future of the human race, and you... How dare you? You can't believe that the audacity... Zachariah's like a son to me. You, sir, are a raving simpleton.
Thanks, Scott, but I'm afraid insults won't cut it this time. Your path ends here, Victor.
We'll see about that.
Tyrant is dead. Not by force, but by his health. How ironic, the commander of armies and persecutor of thousands, sabotaged by his own heart.
That's a twist I'll live with.
Zach, just a moment.
Yes, Andrew? What's up?
It's just... we're about to contact Mother Earth. A world we haven't heard from in a century. And if we succeed, it'll change life for everyone on Mars. You ready for that?
Maybe. Are you?
Part of me is scared that Earth's aid would make Mars, the corporations, the Technomancers, all obsolete. But the other part tells me everything will be alright. As long as we stick together. No matter what, I'll always be at your side.
As will I. Let's make history.
Initializing storage system display. Connection to Earth in progress. Connection failed. Extrapolating incomplete data. Updating solar system display.
Destroyed. Earth is gone. All these years wasted dreaming of a rescue from a place that's nothing but a cloud of scattered rocks. Everyone on Mars, if they hear of this, they'll be devastated. What am I gonna tell them? What should I do, Andrew?
Wish I had the perfect answer for you. But I can only tell you how I feel. And I feel that people deserve the truth. The truth will set us free, right? Without a doubt, it will cause riots, maybe even wars. But you'll finally give people a chance to leave their lives of ignorance. Knowing that Mars is all we have is a scary thing, but it's just as liberating. And ceasing to pretend that Technomancers are human will let you, me, and all our brothers and sisters live openly, free and proud. And I'm sure that Noctis or Mutant Valley would welcome us if the corporation's views on us turn sour.
What do you think, Nisha?
I think it's our responsibility to tell the world that there's nothing to expect from the outside. But we have to do it gently. Otherwise, we'd be looking at a worldwide revolution. And if you reveal your true colors to Abundance, it won't accept you for who you are. But you know you'll always be welcome at Noctis. Whatever happens, your support could shift the balance of power on Mars. And what better city to pick than Noctis, the one place that accepts all walks of life, human or mutant.
What do you think I should do, Amelia?
Grow a pair of ears, will ya? I say, cut the bullshit. Tell everyone the truth. It'll suck in the beginning, but only by knowing will people start growing. Damn, I should be a poet. Abundance might fall, but after what they did to us, sucks to suck. And we could always crash at Noctis or Mutant Valley, right?
Scott, I need advice.
It's a difficult decision indeed. I would be tempted myself to spill the beans, as you youths would say, but I still... I know from experience that the truth is quite like a mushroom cloud. Do you want to set off a bomb? Not just one, but two terrible, awful, catastrophic secrets. I shudder to... But Zach, nothing stops us from going home. With Victor's passing, you would undoubtedly, well, there's always a small chance, likely become the great master of Abundance's Technomancers. And you could do great things for our corporation and our city. Help science, stop corruption, restore justice. You could do it all, my boy. Just right now, I would very much like for us to go home and live none the wiser.
What would you do if you were me, Phobos?
I would reveal everything. The truth is not comforting, but it has proven us right. We decided to build our future here on the Red Planet, our planet, because there is nothing waiting for us out there. It's just a shame that humans haven't done the same. Show your true face to the world. Let the humans throw their tantrums and come join us in Mutant Valley. You and the Technomancers could help us turn our city into a nation, and together we could make the world a paradise, where everyone can be proud of who they are, not ashamed of what they are. After all, aren't we brothers?
It's time for the truth. There'll be no more hiding, no more secrets. I'm gonna tell them of Earth's destruction and reveal the true identity of every single Technomancer on the planet. This news will send shockwaves across Mars, but it's the first step for changing our planet. For the better. Let's go. Mutant Valley awaits. Looking back now, I bet I wouldn't even recognize the young Zachariah Mancer who just earned his stripes. And little did I know that all my choices would compound together and shape the city under the ice. By allowing Bulgakov's safe passage out of the city, the Resistance survived and thrived, and their support later proved invaluable. Despite my orders, I couldn't bring myself to kill my fellow man, and I let the deserters and their leader go, only to find that one day he would return the favor. I remember letting poor Dave go, understanding he only betrayed me to protect his family. Meanwhile, a more dangerous spy was hiding in my shadow. Despite everything Jeffrey did to me, I couldn't let Nisha shoot him down like a dog. And even in all my efforts to be a good soldier, I was still exiled from Ophir. No matter what happened, Victor was always going to discredit me. Yet my decisions of friends, alliances, would greatly influence the events that followed. The day I left Ophir in a stolen rover was the day I had chosen the people alongside me to become my companions, through adventure, misfortune, and into battle. Later, I agreed to help Dandolo chase the Vori out of Noctis, for good, cutting them off at the bridgehead they hoped to use to infiltrate every settlement on Mars. And because of that, Anton came close to paying the ultimate price when his men picked him as the scapegoat. But he's not a man you get rid of that easily. By becoming the great master of Technomancers, I've earned their unwavering loyalty, but I've also accepted a lifelong responsibility. Since I've left the city under the ice, I've had many young apprentices, and the Order is powerful again, our future bright. Scum keeps the young mutant nation alive and well, and with Phobos' help, he has managed to repel Corporation's troops, time and time again. And with the incoming surge of refugees, you'd be a fool to bet against Mutant Valley. It's destined to become the most powerful force on Mars. Andrew works hard on his craft, pushing himself to control each and every intricacy of technomancy. Today, he teaches apprentices, hoping that no young technomancer will ever have to go through what he did. He's grown quite a bit from when I first met him, and he's my best friend, my favorite companion. He's loving, loyal, and unwaveringly supportive. An alter ego I didn't think existed. I visit Scott on occasion. He's still probably legally crazy, but he's found a way to use that eccentric energy for good. He treats children in the slums of Ophir, though this time he's now using them as guinea pigs. The Army's role in taking down Victor allowed it to regain its honorable post as the protector of abundance. The generals have powerful representatives at the Assembly again. And even if the corporation has lost some luster and prestige after the Colonel's reign, at least it can properly defend itself. Dandolo made the most of our alliance, as you would expect. Noctis is now ubiquitous. Its merchants have obtained the right to citizenship in Ophir, and are free to come and go from the exchange as they please. Yet nothing compared to my revelations. Learning that Earth was destroyed, discovering that Technomancers were mutants crafted in the vision of the settlers. When I announced the truth, the corporations lashed out. There were widespread riots and revolts, and most Technomancers fled before the leaders of the Alliance could put the pieces together. To adapt to Mars, we had to mutate, or we wouldn't survive. Remaining human had only been an illusion, and one that we had unknowingly mastered. I heard that a few scientists have reproduced Scott's experiments, and I have no doubt there'll be more of us in the future. One day, Mutant Valley won't be the only place a mutant can call home. Instead, it'll be the capital for a race spread across Mars. At least that's what I hope.